Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. XRP does something that you hate right before it destroys all doubt. And what is that? Well, it simply is the fact that price action looks weak on the charts. That's just an undeniable fact. But this is normal. It's part of investing in cryptocurrencies, and so I want to talk about this a little bit. I've also got opinions in this video from a few different analysts having to do with the direction of this market and Bitcoin, which is leading it, of course. And I've got a chart to share with you that will soothe your weary soul. Because, look, a big part of this is, as I've said from time to time, and it's always worth repeating, is that the biggest battle when it comes to investing, especially in cryptocurrency, which is so volatile, it's just the biggest hurdle is yourself and the emotions that you endure and this and that. And so I want to highlight with you the long-term viability of this crypto asset class, directionally where it's going. And a part of that will also be, and I'm going to cover this at the tail end of this video, but there's this article from the Daily Hodl titled, "Hedge Fund Billionaire Paul Tudor Jones Says Gold Losing the Race Against Crypto as Inflation Hedge." And so if you simply understand that the crypto asset class isn't going away, then this chart that I'm going to show you, it should absolutely remove concern. Like, that's how I feel anyway. Not that I'm not pretending like there's no risk in investing in crypto even beyond our own stupid human psychology. Of course, there are things can happen that are out of the blue, but you know, insofar as that's the case of life when you invest in anything, like, there's a reason that I'm able to sleep easy. But I do want to be clear at the outset, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. At the time I'm recording this, XRP is at $1.10. What do you know, isn't that about where it's been for, like, I don't know, like most of the last week? Pretty much, right? Bitcoin is currently at $62,792. Market cap for the asset class, $2.65 trillion, and Bitcoin dominance at 44.63%. And how about those lovable, cuddly little lemmings out there, the typical retail speculators? How are they feeling today? Because it matters how they feel today, because how they feel today indicates whether or not they're going to buy or sell stuff. Because it's emotions, damn it. That's why. So here's the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Currently at 72 out of 100, indicating that the lemmings are feeling greed, and good for them. I don't like it when they're fearful. I don't take pleasure in their fear, but I know that they're going to go back to extreme fear when the market tanks at some unknown point in the future, and I'll be there to purchase the fear from them at a very low price. I will be happy to do that. Now, here's a tweet from somebody named Ramen. To chart analyst Credible Crypto, and this is a normal thing. So this isn't to be like rude or mean to anybody, but I think this is a normal sentiment. So this person's actually really normal, and I just think it's a learning opportunity, especially for people. There's so many new people listening right now, I know, that are brand new to crypto in general. And if you're new to crypto, then you've probably been asking the same question that this gentleman here asked, and it doesn't make you weird or bad or stupid. It makes you normal. Now, I'll say this, though. I'd rather be weird, because normal doesn't really work when it comes to investing. Not really, because the typical retail speculator, that would be the norm. They lose money. They respond emotionally. Not so hot here. So yes, you're normal, but I encourage you to become weird like Moon Lambo. Being weird is more profitable. And also it's easier. And it's less stressful. I don't worry about anything. And you know what I do to accumulate my wealth in crypto? I do nothing. I do absolutely nothing. Yes, I purchase the crypto, but after that, I literally do nothing. I just sit around for years on end until the market goes up dramatically, and then I will sell. I haven't sold to this point, but it's still, in terms of how much it's appreciated in the years that I've been in crypto, yeah, I'm not exactly sad over that. But if I had been getting in and out of positions, this and that, it wouldn't have worked out so well for me. But that's typically what people do. So anyway, look at this tweet though. Credible Crypto, hi sir. You know, big fan of yours. But any idea why HBAR not doing well compared to one/Matic/Solana/HNT ? So several different cryptocurrencies. He says, I was in for you at 6 cents and is in profit, but just curious on your thoughts. H-bar slacking compared to others, and most times fails to hold onto its gains versus others. And I know this is an XRP-centric channel, but from time to time, I want to talk about H-bar just briefly, because I know there's actually a lot of XRP holders that happen to hold H-bar. But even beyond that, I do this to highlight that these emotions that you feel as an XRP holder, everybody that holds any cryptocurrency, they feel that there too. Because most of the time, any cryptocurrency you could hold, it's not doing anything notable or meaningful. That's what it is to invest. It's mostly sideways and down price action. And then you get these huge bursts up in crypto from time to time, which results in overall tremendous growth. But again, these emotions, it's completely normal here, which is why Credible Crypto responded with the following. Zoom out. Consolidation precedes expansion. The longer the consolidation, the greater the expansion. Patience. Exactly. And so that's why I'm saying during consolidation, when price is ranging sideways, a bit up, a bit down, but before expansion, before things start to get dramatically better, let's say, before all of that happens, price action is supposed to look weak because that's normal. And then anything else that isn't in that part of its cycle, and it could be outperforming whatever it is that you're holding, maybe XRP, and you can start to have emotions about that. But it's normal. It's part of investing. And then the people that react to that, see, that's where you make the mistake. You go chasing something else because it's moving in the moment. Well, it's too late probably if it's moving. Like maybe you're lucky and you catch something just as it starts to go. Maybe you do. A lot of people don't though. You get something where it's already gone up most of the way that it was going to impulse upwards. And then what? You just bought the top of something, and then whatever else you just sold out of, it hasn't gone yet, and then inevitably it does. And just understanding the market moves in tandem, that's why it's so silly to act on that. Take a look at this tweet from Crypto Burb, who shared the following with his 465,000 followers. The chart's on your screen if you care to look. He wrote, "If you think Bitcoin chart looks bearish, then you're in for a painful surprise." And again, this is what I keep seeing from the analysts that I respect and have been following for some time. Yeah, so fine. Bitcoin, it broke through its all-time high by a couple thousand, whatever it was, 2,000, 2,500, whatever it was. And yeah, and then it went back down. Fine. But this isn't over. In fact, take a look at this. And this is the chart that I was referencing at the outset of this video. I want to talk about this. Look at this. And this comes from Plan B, who is an analyst, a strong background in finance, and has 1.1 million followers on Twitter for a reason. This is the gentleman who has applied the stock-to-flow model to Bitcoin. That's what he's famous for. So he tweeted out the following. When Bitcoin is in all-time high mode, colors turn red, he writes in parentheses, referencing this chart, it usually stays in all-time high mode for a couple months. So let me make this full screen so you can take a look at this. Look at these red dots. This is normal behavior. You see it go into all-time high mode. It doesn't stay there. It pulls back. You can see what's happened. Because look, this chart, mind you, it's going back to 2013. But we just started. That's where this red dot is. That's what he's talking about in his tweet. And more likely than not, the next couple months on the whole are going to be insane for Bitcoin. And then it will ultimately trickle on down to altcoins if history is to repeat and do what it's been doing for the last 12 years. And so here's what I wanted to highlight, because again, if big picture, if you're still having trouble with crypto in general, again, I'm not telling you to buy or sell or hold, makes no difference to me personally. I just think it's, like I said, interesting to talk about this stuff. But especially if you're new and you're concerned, is crypto even going to be around? There are a lot of you out there, I'm sure, still asking that. I was asking myself similar questions for a long time, especially in the earliest of days. And actually, to be honest, like I did kind of figure out fairly quickly that the crypto asset class was going to be here, but it's still like this question of like, what are the implications with all the other moving parts? How would Bitcoin impact my XRP holdings? So on and so forth. At what point is utility going to matter? So there are a lot of big picture questions here. But consider this, and this is why it's easy for me to sleep at night. Look at this darker line right here. This is the 200-week moving average going back to about the beginning of 2013. And so basically this line is taking out the noise. It's taking out the volatility so you don't see all of the dips. Because Bitcoin's, it's up, it's down, it's up and down. But I've been saying for a long time, it's trending upwards, and it has been for the entirety of its existence. And so here's a 200-week moving average. It never, it's never gone down. Look at since the beginning of this chart. Look at this 200-week moving average. And so that's why I keep saying, like, all of the fearfulness, like, to all these people, and they get in and out of positions, and they feel the emotions. If you just understand this, this is, and consider this too. It's been going up for this whole time, despite pullbacks of over 80%. Despite those, this is factored in. It's trending up, and it has been this whole damn time. And so to all these people, am I buying the right time, this or that? I'm like, just have a sufficiently long time frame in mind if you're concerned about that stuff. Because at this point, yeah, it's true, we are closer to the blow-off top. So depending on how high Bitcoin goes this market cycle, the price that people are buying in at right now, I mean, they may find that by the time this bubble pops and gets to the bottom, it could be way, way, way lower than the price of Bitcoin is today. Now, I'm not predicting that, and I don't know that, but that's not a wacky idea. That's plausible. On the flip side, if we do end up seeing, say $250,000 Bitcoin, well, even if it goes down 80%, well, then maybe you're somewhere around here. But we don't know. Either way, like, there's going to be another pullback if there's going to be another massive expansion to the upside. But I'm just saying, it's not worth stressing or worrying about it. Like, all that, if you're worried about, like, am I buying at the right time, this or that, and the whole market moves in tandem, it just doesn't make any damn sense. And here's a chart on my screen. I'll keep highlighting various charts from time to time to illustrate this point on this channel. Because again, this helps battle the emotion side of it. This is why it's so useful. This is why I like highlighting this stuff on my channel regularly. It's useful. Because it's not something you can just say once and like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll just not worry about that. No. That's not how humans work. That's not how humans work. These reminders matter, and conveying this story, this message in various ways, this is what's useful. And here's another way, right in front of you right now, this market is not scary to me. Now, a lot of the non-Bitcoin coins are cryptocurrencies that don't provide utility. Yeah, at some point, I do believe those are going to get washed out. So again, there are other things to consider. I'm not saying there aren't any other complexities, but I am saying that humans tend to, when it comes to buying and selling, they make things way more complex than it is, and adding that complexity actually just makes them lose money. It just does. And there's sufficient data to support that. Because think, you could have bought at any point along this whole chart, and if you just held, you ended up fine. That's it. That's it. And so I'm not the only one that thinks that. In fact, take a look at this article now from the Daily Hodl. Hedge fund billionaire Paul Tudor Jones says gold losing the race against crypto as inflation hedge. And so part of what he says, and it's towards the tail end of this article, but I'd like to just mention it now to make sure the message gets out here. Like, this is a billionaire. He's not an idiot. Like, he's Mr. Finance, Paul Tudor Jones. Yup. And he says in here, it's very clear that crypto is not going away. And so I'm just sitting here wondering, like, what is everybody so damn fearful about? And right now, the whole market moves in tandem. So, like, for the duration of this market cycle anyway, fine. Like, we don't know what's going to be here 30 years from now in terms of crypto. Fine. We'll figure that out together. But right now, in the short term, I don't think it does matter. I really don't. As much as I value the utility, and that's what got me really interested in crypto. Seriously, because I'll be honest with you. Jumping into crypto, if I didn't, in the time that I did, the initial research in that first week or so, if I didn't find that there was anything, because I was doing exhaustive research like hours per day, I'm not kidding, because I was just really engrossed in it, really interested in it. And if I didn't find that there was something after that much research in that period of time, I would be like, yeah, I don't know, maybe there's something to this, I'm not so sure. But my aha moment was when I realized that you can have business models, thanks to decentralized cryptocurrencies with an open market price, that otherwise couldn't exist. And so it's very clear to me that this is not going away. So I do care about the utility. And long term, that's what I'm going to care about most. I do care about most. But in the short term, I just don't think any of this really sufficiently matters. And so even there, whatever you're holding, you're like, is it going to go up? I'm like, is it a cryptocurrency? Yes. Okay, then yes. That's the way I look at it, anyway. Nothing's guaranteed in life, but if history's to repeat and humans keep acting the same way for the duration of this market cycle, hell yeah, everything's going to go up, right? Anyway, into the piece now. Hedge fund billionaire Paul Tudor Jones says that crypto is currently his preferred way of hedging against inflation. In a new interview with CNBC, Jones says that crypto has acted as a great hedge as of late, and is winning the race against gold. And here's a quote. Crypto has been a great hedge. I said then, I said now, I've got crypto in single digits in my portfolio. I have a small trading position in our fund. I do think we're moving into an increasingly digitized world. Clearly, there's a place for crypto, and clearly, it's winning the race against gold at the moment. So yes, I would think that would also be a very good inflation hedge. It would be my preferred one over gold at the moment. So again, just let me pause there to state, this is why I say to anybody that's feeling any fear that's listening right now about the market, again, do you believe this or do you not? You decide for yourself if it makes sense or if it's not, since there's nothing guaranteed in life, and I'm not telling you to buy or sell anything. I want you to make up your own damn mind. But think about this. There's a reason people like this, of this caliber, this billionaire Paul Tudor Jones, says it's clearly going to be here for the long haul. There is. And so do you believe that or do you not? Because if you do believe it, then who the hell cares if you're just consistently buying over a long period of time? Who the hell cares if there's a massive crash, even if it's over 80%? Who cares? It doesn't matter. And that's a huge piece of what people are missing. They're so fearful that something's about to drop. Oh my gosh, I better get out. Is it going to go lower? Like that, geez. When it goes lower, like that's, if you're a long-term investor, if you're capable of understanding these things and thinking long-term, then when it drops, that's just a better time to buy if you have a sufficiently long time horizon. And if you don't, okay, fine, that's a different conversation anyway. Who knows what you're shooting for then? And then that's fine. You know, if you're shooting for something different, okay. But I'm not. I don't think it makes the least bit of sense to worry about any of this stuff. And so anyway, Peace continues. The billionaire who heads investment management firm Tudor Investment Corporation says that while the new Bitcoin futures exchange traded fund is a regulated and legitimate product, he thinks a better investment is to own physical Bitcoin. Yeah, no kidding. And here's the quote from, I think a better way to get in would be to actually own physical Bitcoin, to take the time to learn how to own it and carry it. I think the ETF will be fine. I think the fact that it's SEC approved should give you great comfort. That's the quote. Yeah, so I do agree with that, and I don't think it makes as much sense to do that, but I also understand that there are different people that want different things, and they like purchasing on, I don't even, actually, honestly, I don't even know what it's being traded on. Typically ETFs, so you'd think in the United States at least, NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange, so one or both of them, I don't know. But anyway, the point is that there are people that just, they're already in the world of stocks, and they're buying and selling there, and they're trading, and you're removing a barrier by having this thing. So I know it's not physically backed by Bitcoin, but it's, in theory at least, exposure to the crypto asset class. And so you'll have people throwing money at it because there's no barrier there. What? Oh, it's already on the platform that I'm using now and I don't need to learn anything? Oh, there you go. So it's easy to understand why, but it's not as good as just owning it outright, obviously. You think about all the fees associated with it. In this case, again, there isn't even an underlying asset because it's a Bitcoin futures-based ETF. Anyway, the investor says that embracing Bitcoin is part of the American character and that China's refusal to do so may have economic consequences for the future in the country. And here's a final quote. I think crypto is here to stay. Did you guys hear that? Did you hear that? Crypto is here to stay. Let me read it one more time. I think crypto is here to stay. Let me just pause there to say, quit freaking out. Then he says, look, this is the United States of America, right? The reason we're the most dominant economic power in the world is because we unleash our individual entrepreneurialism and creativity. And you're seeing China do the exact opposite. That places on, economically, a slow boat to the South Pole. As long as the U.S. can continue to unchain our entrepreneurs, we're going to always be in the dominant position. That's the quote. And so that's why I keep thinking, as it pertains to the SEC versus Ripple case, as long as that sufficiently gets straightened out, which I'm optimistic about. I'm actually going to be making another video about that very shortly. I have some interesting stuff to cover on that front. But no, these are some of the reasons that I feel so damn good every single day, and I just don't have the fear. Because even if suddenly out of the blue, utility matters, and some of these crap coins that I hold end up going to zero, which I don't anticipate is going to happen, certainly not before this bubble inflates and then pops. But even if I'm wrong and it happens before that, utility will always ultimately matter. And you know what my biggest position is? XRP. And it's useful. As long as it's useful, I don't care. I will deal with the downward volatility, even if it's over 80, over 90%. It's part of being in crypto. It just is. It doesn't matter. Because when that happens, you got to understand that that's not some sort of indictment. When XRP goes down, you do realize this. It's not an indictment on XRP itself. It's emotional people just bobbing, bouncing around off of each other. That's all it is. It's not an indictment on XRP, its utility, its usefulness, its long-term viability, any of that. It's just short-term price action that is occurring. Why? Because of emotional humans. It is not based on anything that matters. And so that's why I'm saying, even if it goes down, as long as there's usefulness, there you go. Just like when Amazon stock tanked over, I think it was like 92% or something like that. When it did, there were all sorts of, and there were, mind you, that was the dot-com boom and bust. So like all sorts of companies that were dot-coms, they ended up going the way of the dodo, my favorite extinct avian creature. And so it went down massively, but was that an indication that there was something wrong with Amazon, or was it just a flushing out of the system? What was a flushing out of like what was going on in the world of those dot-com stocks? That's what it was. It wasn't an indication that there was something fundamentally wrong with Amazon's business model. Amazon's business model was disconnected from the price action. And so I want to say here, XRP's price action is disconnected from XRP's utility. That's what you need to understand. And so if you have a similar investment thesis, if you happen to, and that utility matters and will win the day, what the hell sense does it make being fearful about any of this? That's why for me, and again, I could be wrong and I could lose everything. I'm not pretending like that's not possible, but I'm articulating my case. It's not something I whimsically came to. I've in-depth thought about this for almost 4 whole years at this point. I sleep easy for a freaking reason. If I didn't have exposure to these cryptocurrencies, then I would not be sleeping easy. That would be hard for me. If I were like forced to not be able to hold crypto for some weird reason. Yeah, that would be very difficult. So I'm the opposite, okay? That's why I'm saying that's not normal. I'm weird then. Fine. I'd rather be weird. Be weird with me, okay? Be weird with me with crypto. Mind out of the gutter. Okay, I'm just saying. Right, I'm going to wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.